What's up guys, it's Matt Paul here, and in this episode I'm going to present to you Polybrute 12's full touch MPE keyboard capabilities, allowing you to play with the highest degree of expressivity. Let's dive in. The Polybrute 12 comes with our own original keyboard design that introduces a revolutionary feature known as full touch. While traditional keyboards typically employ monophonic or channel aftertouch, where a single sensor covers the entire keybed, resulting in modulation applied to all notes being played when pressure is applied to any key, the Polybrute 12 revolutionizes this with its full touch technology. With this technology, each key is equipped with its own pressure sensor, enabling individual expressivity on every note played. In addition to offering both conventional monophonic and polyphonic aftertouch responses, the Polybrute 12's keyboard integrates seamlessly with sounds in entirely new ways, thanks to the 3 new polyphonic aftertouch algorithms. This functionality allows for notes to be triggered with the slightest touch, utilizing the entire range of the key, from the slightest touch to the bottom of the keybed, and enables polyphonic expression unlike anything seen in analog synthesizers before. Before we start, let's play with a few great sounds that take full advantage of the new full touch technology. The aftertouch button is found on the left side of the instrument and cycles through these 3 settings: mono mode, that offers classic monophonic aftertouch, which remains useful for some patches; then there's the poly mode that offers polyphonic aftertouch, which applies modulation as set up in the modulation matrix to each key separately. And the alternative mode that opens a menu to access the unique full touch MPE technology algorithms. Here you can choose from 3 very innovative aftertouch technologies: full touch envelope, full touch, and full touch plus Z. A unique thing for all of these algorithms is that the notes are triggered instantly upon touch, which is earlier than in how a traditional keyboard mode reacts. This allows for much more subtle and gentle playing, providing much more of an intimate, expressive, and immersive playing experience. In this mode, the full touch signal controls the envelope amounts. These are controlled with the key vertical position. The full touch range signal is routed to the VCF envelope modulation matrix lane, and the classic aftertouch range is routed to the aftertouch modulation lane. The VCA is hardwired to the VCA envelope as usual. The VCF and VCA amount are hardwired to the envelopes. You can set the max filter envelope amount with the VCF envelope amount knob. Moreover, the full touch range signal is routed to the VCF envelope modulation matrix lane, and the classic aftertouch range is routed to the aftertouch modulation lane. This means that as you play, you're controlling both VCA and VCF envelopes with full touch. This enables you to control how much the VCA envelope impacts the overall volume of the signal and how much the VCF envelope is controlling both filters, plus additional parameters that you can control with VCF envelope modulation lane. And all of this, of course, polyphonically, meaning individual modulation amounts are sent from each key. While in this mode, the individual envelope sliders have the following effects. The attack slows down the rise of the envelope to reach your finger position. The decay works similarly. When you release your finger, it slows down the fall of the envelope up to the sustain point. Sustain, on the other hand, forces the envelope amount to stay high, like classic sustain behavior when it's set above the 50% value, while under the 50% value it attenuates the envelope amount. This is a useful behavior when using the velo slider. And the release slider acts as a usual envelope release. Lastly, the velo slider allows your sound to be more percussive by adding a pluck to the envelope according to the velocity played. The more you bring up the velo slider, the more transient sound you'll have. The attack of the envelope makes the pluck more smooth. The decay of the envelope also controls the decay of the pluck. The VCF envelope amount knob sets the global modulation amount sent to the filters. You can also modulate other parameters with the VCF envelope. In order to do so, use the VCF envelope matrix modulation source and target your desired parameters for the full touch range, and use the aftertouch matrix modulation source for the classic aftertouch range. The second full touch mode is called Full Touch AT. In this full touch mode, the aftertouch signal is utilizing the full key range from the touch point to the bottom point of the key. This means that unlike the classic aftertouch, which is only activated once the key is at its bottom point, the aftertouch is applied as soon as the note is pressed, at the very first touch point. Here, the full touch signal is sent to the aftertouch modulation matrix lane. You can use the mod matrix to target whatever parameter you want to control polyphonically throughout the whole key range. It can be a metalizer shaper, an FM amount, a noise amount, or maybe a stereo spread, among many other parameters, including the morph knob. The third algorithm is called Full Touch ATZ. In this mode, instead of using the whole treble of the key for one modulation lane, the aftertouch signal is split into two ranges. The full touch range sends the signal to the aftertouch modulation matrix lane, while the classic AT range sends the signal to the Z modulation matrix lane. Here you can assign multiple parameters polyphonically and independently for both the full touch range and the classic aftertouch range. In this case, the classic aftertouch mod matrix lane modulates the global pitch and frequency modulation amount, plus the Steiner cutoff and the reverb amount, while the Z modulation source controls the Steiner cutoff, the reverb amount, and the distortion intensity. This one offers a really creative way to produce more complex and interesting polyphonic modulations with your fingers. Alright, that's a wrap. Hopefully this video showed you how unique and powerful full touch technology can be. With this functionality on board, the expressive capabilities of the Polybrute 12 go beyond any other analog synth out there. If you like what you saw, please make sure to subscribe and like this video for more Polybrute 12 content in the future. Thanks for watching and see you soon.